You know what's funny is we're definitely designed to help other people, because all of my best stuff comes out of me whenever I'm on the phone with a group or a person and I'm trying to help them through something. Then all of a sudden, all this incredible stuff that I have in my head just comes out. And it's funny that like you fall down and you skin your knee and you sit there and you watch yourself bleed to death, but when somebody else is in trouble, you can do these like incredible things. And I just got off a call with one of my teams in South Africa, and they asked me to put together kind of like a quick little training on like a few keys to success. And I rarely do that. I usually just kind of like see what the problem is and then I just kind of like go with it, right? Like I'm really way more from the heart than from the head. But I had to prepare this quick little training, and I thought of 6 things that you could do that would really help your business. And so the first one is your dream must be bigger than your prospect. And how many of you guys have been about to sign somebody up and you're so excited and you're already counting the money that you're gonna make, you know? You're like, oh man, if I sign this person up, they're gonna be in my profit leg and I'm gonna make this much money and it's so incredible. And we get super, super excited, and it's like you're on this emotional roller coaster where you just like, you go up into the stratosphere and you're so amped and you're like, oh my God. And then the person decides for whatever reason they're not gonna do it. And all of a sudden you have this like super crash. I mean, 10 minutes ago, your company was like the best thing ever. And now you're like, oh, I don't know. And you know, so it's super important. You've got to learn to discipline your disappointments, okay? So out of these 6 keys, number 1 is your dream, your vision has to be bigger than your prospect. There's no one person that's gonna make or break your business. Well, actually there is one person, and it's you, right? If it is to be, it is up to me. It's the 10 most powerful 2-letter words in the English language. And I think once you finally realize that nobody's gonna save you and that you've gotta do this, right? Once you kind of develop the mindset that if it is to be, it is up to me and I'm gonna make it happen no matter what, right? Then everything changes. It's like if you will change, then everything changes. So number 1, your dream must be bigger than your prospect. Number 2, you've gotta learn how to discipline your disappointments. And Jim Rohn talks about this, right? You know, bad things are gonna happen. You're gonna have somebody quit. You're gonna have somebody leave and go to another company. You're gonna have your company get shut down or fall apart. You know, your company's gonna lose a product or a service. In business, there's a million things that are gonna go wrong. And every once in a while, you get something right. And, you know, luckily I'm friends with some of the top people in the industry. And if you knew how many times they've been lied to, screwed over, ripped off, conned, it would blow you away. And you have one little bad thing happen to you, and that knocks you off the road, knocks you out of the box of the opportunity of success. One little tiny thing. And so if you talk to Brad Pitt, or if you talk to Leonardo DiCaprio, or if you talk to, you know, Mark Cuban or Mark Zuckerberg or whoever it is that you respect, and you ask them, have you ever been lied to? Have you ever been ripped off? Have you ever had a project that you thought for sure this is it, and it was a false alarm? Ask any famous person how many times they thought their breakout role was a certain role or whatever it was. You're gonna have so many false alarms on the way to success. Before I hit it big, I thought I hit it big at least 20 times before that. So you've gotta learn how to discipline your disappointments. And so, you know, people are gonna quit, people are gonna talk trash, companies are gonna make mistakes. But that leads me to number 3, okay? It's all about your ERC. And so you might be wondering, what's your ERC? Your ERC is your emotional recovery time. Because when bad things happen, you're gonna get depressed. You're gonna get demotivated. You know, Monday morning you get up and you feel like you were shot on Sunday evening, or you got hit by a bus and it's cold and wet and rainy in New York or New Jersey, and you've gotta get up and you gotta motivate other people and you feel like crap. Sometimes it feels like you're selling a dream and you're living a nightmare. Your stomach is growling and you're doing presentations and nobody believes in you. And you know, I always say if nobody believes in you, you're blessed. Because maybe that's the rocket fuel that you need to go out there and finally make a change and get the job done. And I always say if you got a bunch of people that believe in you, then you're super blessed because you got a bunch of people behind you, and that's wonderful. So once you develop the mindset that everything is perfect and you don't need more resources, what you need is you need more resourcefulness. Then everything changes. And it all goes back to, you know, if you want things to change, you've got to change. Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror. And we're all trying to change the world. And it's so funny because the only way you're going to change the world is to change yourself. I think it was Mother Teresa that said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And so I would invite you to be the change that you want to see in your business and start doing things a little differently. Okay, number 4, stay busy. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. Not being busy is the absolute worst thing you can do, because what happens when you're not busy? Then you start to think. What happens when you start to think? It's a medically proven fact that 87% of our self-talk is negative. So if you have too much free time, you sit there and you're like, oh, what if we run out of product? What if the company doesn't pay? What if this? What if this? And it's like, oh my God, you just you just kind of get into this negative downward spiral. And so the less you do, the more you think, the more you doubt. The more you doubt, the less you do, the more you think, the more you doubt. And it's just this vicious cycle. And so I think part of the problem is we want to become entrepreneurs because we want that kind of freedom. But all of a sudden, you're so used to having a job and you're so used to always being told what to do that it's almost like we take the shackles off you and you're no longer a slave and you're free. And then you're like, shit, won't someone please tell me what to do? And, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to have that freedom comes with a certain necessity, a certain need for self-discipline, because discipline is the bridge between hope and achievement. Gary Vee calls everybody entrepreneurs. Everybody wants success, right? But not everybody feels like they deserve success because not everybody is actually putting in the work every single day. So super important, you gotta stay busy. Okay, so that leads me to number 5. If you gotta stay busy doing what? Well, you wanna stay busy doing IPA, income producing activities. And so what are income producing activities? In our industry, income producing activities, I remember I was in the office in Irvine, California. This is in 1996. And this guy walked by who was making like 30, 40 grand a month, which to me at that time, that was just like an insane amount of money. And I asked him, I said, man, you're always busy. I wish I was busy like how you are. I wish I was busy. I wish I was always he was always doing something. And he said, what do you mean you wish you were busy? Why don't you just be busy? And I was like, well, I don't know. And he said, there's only 3 things we do in this business. And this all happened in the hallway in less than 60 seconds. And it was like one of those moments that was just like, an epiphany for me. And he said, think about this, okay? And imagine he's like all Armani decked out back when people used to wear suits. And I was like in whatever my best clothes were at the time, probably jeans and a t-shirt. And he said, you're either doing a presentation or you're training a new distributor. And if you don't have anyone to present to and you don't have anyone to train, what should you be doing? And I was like, recruiting. And he put his hand on my shoulder and smiled and just walked off. And I never forgot it. The 3 things that we got to be doing: you're either presenting or you're training. And if you don't have anyone to present to and you don't have anyone to train, then you should be recruiting. And where can you recruit? You can recruit anywhere. You can go to the mall, you can go to the beach, you can go skiing, you can do anything. I don't go out to recruit, I recruit when I'm out. When you're out and your goal is to recruit, you're kind of like 2 dudes at a club and their goal is to like hook up with a chick that night and take her home. And that's just not the way to do it. People can smell that from a mile away, that it's all about you. So I don't go out to recruit, I recruit when I'm out. Okay, so that's number 5. So you're either presenting, you're training, or you're recruiting. And then number 6, here's our last one of the day, is a lot of people struggle in this business because they really just lack confidence, and confidence comes from experience, and experience comes from practice. And who can practice? The answer is anybody can practice. So fear and anxiety come from kind of like a certain stillness. And so motion creates emotion. Remember, fear and anxiety can't exist where there's gratitude and where there's action. And so the more grateful you are for what you have, the less fear and anxiety you're gonna have. And so the secret is to stay busy and to stay grateful. And if you stay busy and you stay grateful, then you're not gonna sit around and just think all over yourself, right? That's the worst thing you can do for your business. You just gotta stay busy, okay? So number 6, fear and anxiety cannot exist in the same space as gratitude. And so if you want more, you just have to be thankful for what you have. So many people are bummed out and they're like, I wish I was getting more out of life. And the truth is, the reason why you're not getting more out of life is because you're not giving enough. And I think once you understand that you have to give more to get more, like once you really understand it, and so many people think that they don't have anything to give. You know, I don't have any value. I felt that way when I was 19 years old. I was like, well, I don't have anything to give. I don't know anything. And you know, there's always somebody a little worse off than you. And the way for you to get to the next level is to help someone below you get to your level. And that's just how life works, not even just our business. And so, you know, Mark Twain said something really cool. He said, the quickest way to cheer yourself up is to cheer up somebody else. And it's so true. In my darkest hours, you know, whenever I'm depressed or I'm feeling alone, and it happens to everybody, right? What you got to do is realize that inward focus is the beginning of depression. That comes from Deepak Chopra. If you think about yourself too much and what am I missing and what am I not getting, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So the quickest way to pull yourself out of a hole is to find somebody below you and help them up, and that levels you up. And again, that's not just network marketing, that's just how life works. So anyway, that's 6 keys to help you guys improve your business. Cliff Braun here in Medellin, California. What's up, Derek? And I'll catch you guys in the next video.